Hi, happy snow day. Okay, so the plan for today originally is that we are going to do some ACT practice. We're going to do 5 questions. When we were in the classroom, when we were supposed to be in the classroom, I had that on a worksheet. So give me a minute to get that uploaded. But we're going to do just 5 questions today. Then we'll do 5 next time, 5 next time on that same worksheet. And then just so you know, the day before we do the ACT test, we're going to do a crash course day. Where we're going to kind of review everything one day and pause on our poetry, right? Sorry, my dog's being annoying. Okay, so number 1, we're going to do just 5 questions ACT today. Number 2, after that, I wanted to talk about Langston Hughes. He is a poet who did poetry during the Harlem Renaissance. So I have an Edpuzzle video to kind of give some basic background information about the Harlem Renaissance. I know that if you have teachers like, if you had Clooney for history, or I don't know if McNeil has taught it yet. Burton has also already taught about the Harlem Renaissance. So I want you to still watch that video whether you know about it or not. It's just a really quick one, really easy questions on it to make sure you're paying attention. After you do the Harlem Renaissance video, we're going to be doing Langston Hughes. So I know we don't have the poetry paper in front of us, but Langston Hughes was one of the great poets of the Harlem Renaissance. And one of the things about that Harlem style of art is that it was big and loud and beautiful and exaggerated. Dance moves were all about kind of throwing your heart into it. It's like jazz music, if you've ever been to a jazz concert, where the band is playing and then suddenly the trumpet player feels this spirit and just goes on a riff, and then everyone else kind of adapts to whatever it is he's playing, and then maybe later on the saxophone player goes on a riff, and then the piano player goes on a riff. And it's not about following certain notes or following certain dance moves. It's about going with your heart, and it's about trying to share an emotion. And oftentimes, in order to share emotions, we hyperbolize or we exaggerate. Like, for example, if I'm really excited about a fish I caught, you probably have heard the lie, I caught a fish this big. And maybe the fish was really just this big. But it's not a lie to hyperbolize that I caught a fish this big when measurement-wise it's really this big. It's me trying to relay the same emotion. So I'm that excited. A lot of people think that hyperboles are lies, but they're not. It's the effort of trying to get my audience to feel the same thing I'm feeling. And not everyone has felt the same emotions. There's going to be a poem that is in the assignment that I want you to read that a student of mine did in the past about love. And I know that not everyone in class has experienced love before. It's an emotion that maybe you've experienced love with your family, but I'm talking about being in love. And not a crush, but we're actually in love with somebody. So the reason I'm talking about this is because we're going to be writing a hyperbolized poem. We're going to be picking an emotion, and I'm going to have you write a list of emotions. And from those emotions, you're going to choose one, at least one, where you have felt it really strongly. And you're going to be exaggerating what it feels like to try to get your audience to understand what that feels like. So I want you to read the poem Love that's in the assignment that a student of mine wrote who has been in love before. And I know not everyone has been in love before. And those of you that have been in love before, you're going to read that poem and you're going to realize that this person has felt something that you have felt before. So maybe your feelings are jealousy or resentment or anger or joy. Think of something that you felt and describe what that emotion feels like for you. What it felt like in a specific moment or throughout your life. Because I know for some people, for example, when you feel certain emotions like anger, we feel them in different ways. Some people get anger like in their jaws, right? And they tense up when they get angry. Some people feel it in their fists. I know my dad, for example, when he gets angry, I could tell because his fists would clench and he'd get like kind of shaking it. I know when I feel anger, I feel it in my spine. Like it gets in my back and it makes me kind of like lean back and I get a little like, woo. Everybody feels emotions differently. So I want you to pick 2 emotions that you have felt really strongly in your life, and you're going to be exaggerating what that feels like to help your audience understand what those emotions feel like for you. So I'm going to put all these assignments together. Remember, we're going to do 5 questions of ACT. You're going to watch a quick Harlem Renaissance video, and then you're going to be writing 2 poems about emotions. Before we do the 2 poems about emotions, I want you to do a brainstorm activity where you're going to write down at least 20 emotions down. Seems like a lot. If you need to Google it, totally fine. But I want you to have a big list to choose from before you pick the 2 emotions for your poem. Okay, I know it's a lot. It's a snow day, but honestly, it's not too much. Also, if you've got time to do some makeup work today, it'd be a really good idea. A lot of you are getting really behind. Okay, love you lots. Bye.